Yeah. Okay. So our call is being recorded. What else? Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, so I guess you can see my screen. So here's just the contract. So basically here I just explained the basic primitive data types, right? Which is boolean signified with bool, integer signified with int, right? Uint, okay, which is unsigned integer, right? And then address. So basically, these are the four data types, primitive data types. I mean, we have other data types, which is the reference types, right? So, but today we'll just look at the primitive data types. So, in fact, I was so busy today. My younger brother fell ill. We had to go to the hospital. So this was just my practice. You can see it's already a deployed contract. So maybe let's just walk through it, right? And then we'll redeploy it and then call the data types and see. Let me delete this. I hope I'm still on the line. All right. So what do we have here? It's a contract called primitive types, right? And then first, what we have here is the Boolean, which returns only two values, basically true or false. So the Boolean is a data type in Solidity, that returns only two values, either a true or a false. Another data type is the integer. You can also call it signed integer, okay, which consists of basically both positive and negative digits or numbers, okay, integers, right? So it's signed because it could take a negative value, okay, -2, -4, like that. Okay, so an integer has sizes, okay, where there are different sizes for an integer. There is the int 8, there is int 16, there is int 32, right, int 64, and so on till int 256. Okay, so for instance, the range of int 8 ranges from -2 raised to the power of 7 to 2 raised to the power of 7 -1. Okay, if you can see my screen here, or let me zoom it in a little bit. Yeah. So after the session, I'm going to still drop this in a GitHub gist. So yeah, we're talking about integer, right? Which is basically signed integer because it could take a negative sign as well. But it consists of both negative and positive values, right? If you look at the range, for instance, of int 8, which takes in the 8-bit size, right? So the range takes from -2 raised to the power of 7 to 2, and then so you can see this 2 right here is a positive, right? 2 raised to the power of 7 -1. Okay. So so yeah, minimum value. Yes, this is something to look at. So the minimum value now in the int, for instance, int 8, the minimum value is negative 128, okay? From here now, negative 2 raised to the power of 7 is equal to negative 128. And then the maximum value of the int is 2 raised to the power of 7, negative 1, which gives us 127. So you might want to ask, okay, what is the need or usefulness of the minimum and the maximum value? So for instance, now when you're using int 8, right? If you're using integer in your contract, and then you're using the 8-bit size integer 8, so sometimes you might want to indicate the minimum value that it could take, right? Because, okay, just look at this this statement here, okay? This is integer, so this is integer, right? And then you can see we have set a value of negative 5 for this integer. I'm going to explain this statement when I come here, but then just to know, you can see that this integer now, okay, called integer, okay, the visibility is what? Public, which means it can be called from outside the contract, right? Okay, so we're setting the value for it to negative 5. Now, if you are using integer in your contract now, you might need to specify, okay, the minimum value and the maximum, or the maximum value that it could take. This is important for checks, okay? So that, and you know, sometimes when you're writing contracts, the case of overflow and underflow, the minimum and maximum value are going to tackle these things. Okay, so okay, next is the unsigned integer. So the unsigned integer now, it doesn't take in a negative value. It's a no negative value taker. It only takes positive values, okay? And then we have also different sizes for it. There's uint 8, uint 32, uint 64, and so on till uint 256. So also it has its own range, the different bit sizes. For instance, now what I have here, uint 32 ranges from 0. It ranges from 0 to 2 raised to the power of 32 minus 1. Okay, so this is the size of this uint 8 now. Now, uint 8, sorry, I'm talking about uint 32, not uint 8. Pardon me. So, now, what is the minimum value and what is the maximum value of, for instance, uint 32, as we're looking at now? The minimum value is 0, just from this equation we have here, okay? And the maximum value of uint 32 is 2 raised to the power of 32 negative 1. What is this figure now? This is 4,294,000. Sorry, 4,294,967,295. So this is the maximum value that a uint 32 can take. So let me give room for maybe a question or something. If you have any question or if you have anything to say, am I too fast? Please say it before we continue. Am I on the call? Hello, guys.
Yes, we can hear you.
You can keep going on, bro.
All right. So now, the next primitive data type we'll look at is the address. Okay. So what is an address? An address is a 20 bytes, 42 character string. Okay. So, okay, what I wrote here, an address. Okay, an Ethereum address is a 20 bytes, 42 character string, starting from 0x, followed by 40 hexadecimal characters. So yes, I think basically this is what an address is, right? So now what do you use an address for? You can use your address as your identity. as an identity to your wallet. Okay, like we call it a public address. You could use it to receive fund. You could use it to store information as well. You could also use it to keep your data, right? For example, people store their digital identities on their addresses this time. So yes, so an address is one of the primitive data types in Solidity. So now let's see the implementation, or rather how to write them and then use them in a contract. So the first one we're looking at is bool, okay, the boolean. So to use it in a statement in Solidity, you simply signify it by calling the bool, okay, what we have here. Then if you depending on what you want to achieve, right? If you want it to be visible to other contract outside, for other contracts to be able to call it, you declare it public. If you call it external, it means it can only be called by other contracts outside. It cannot be called within this particular contract. But being public allows it to be able to be called from within and outside the contract. So this right is the name. This is just the name I just gave it. It's boolean here. Give it the name boolean, and then what? It's equal to true. Now, after this, if I deploy this particular contract now, if I call this as a function, it will give me this value. So now what this means is that if you, for instance, use this statement, you want to use it in your contract, all you have to do is to call the name bool. Boolean, and then it will return this value because this value has been assigned to this variable already. Now, next is the integer. To use an integer in your contract, or to write a statement, you excuse me, you call int, okay, give it the visibility of your choice and then the name, okay, and then you assign the value to it. Okay, also you can also leave this empty like this, okay, but if you leave it, if you remove any visibility, it's automatically going to be an internal, it's going to carry the internal visibility, which means it can only be called from within the contract. All right. So next is the unsigned integer. Okay. So what do you have note is uint, right? Anywhere you see just, for instance, uint, just know it's referring to uint 256. Okay, except otherwise indicated. For instance, if it's uint 8 or 16 or 64 or just anyone, right? But if you leave it as just uint like this, it's not wrong, but EVM will read it as uint 256. Okay, so of course public visibility, unsigned integer, and then we're assigning this value to it. And then the last is the address. Okay, also to declare an address, you call the name address, okay, the visibility next, and then I called it public address. And then this, of course, is an example of an Ethereum address. Okay, it's 20 bytes, 42 characters. It starts with an OX. Typically, this OX is different from this hexadecimal we have here. Okay, then it's like this. So, and then 40 hexadecimal characters. So now let's deploy this contract. Let me see if I'm connected to Core. All right. Okay, so I've connected to the core testnet. You can see I have like 2.6 test core here. It's showing ether. Don't mind it. It's like that. It's test core. So what next? This just to check our version is Paris. Okay, so it's Paris. So now let me deploy this contract. Okay, so I'll confirm the transaction. Creation of primitive types pending. Okay, so it has deployed. So now let's see what we have. So we call Boolean. Okay, so you can see it's returning true here because it has been assigned to it. True has been assigned to this variable. So let's call integer and see. Integer -5. Okay, because we've assigned it here to the variable, the integer variable. The public address, this address, right? So, and our unsigned integer 456, just as it's assigned. So you can see now you can write your contract and then use these variables. Okay, they are going to come with these values. Yes, because this value, the true, is assigned to the Boolean variable. -5 is assigned to integer. So I don't know if there's any question or any unclarity, so that we'll talk about it. Aji, are you on the call?
Yes, I'm with you, Daniel.
All right. So any question, guys? Any unclarity? Anything we need to talk about? It must not be about this session. It must not be about primitive type data types. Could be about anything. Solidity. I am here. Aji is here, and we have I think developers also. Abdul Basit is here. Abdul Basit is building on core presently. So I guess I'm not alone. So Abdul Basit, any question? Aji, any unclarity? Core Prince, you're welcome. I don't know if you're a developer. Am I live? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right. So I want to guess
Since
there's no
any
question.
and Tia.
Yeah, I'm with you. Carry on, bro.
Yeah, I just want to ask a bit about the commit program because I think we've not gotten any update.
Concerning
a meeting today. Today is 22, right?
Yes. So, forgive me, please. Forgive me. So yes, the program, the event has been postponed to 28th of November, which is next week, Thursday.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
So, it's still in Lagos, right?
No. So there's going to be one in Lagos, I think on the 30th, right? And then I will also be hosting one at Bayes University on the 28th of this month, which is next week, Thursday.
Okay.
Yes.
I will see if I can make it.
Yeah. So you are in Abuja, right? Abdul
Yeah, but
Basit.
I'm not in Abuja at the moment. I'm in Borno State right now.
Oh.
I can still try to make it though.
Okay. So we'll talk in between time.
Okay.
The flyer will be out hopefully this weekend. So I think in the absence of anything, we'll call it a day here, right? I will put this in a gist and then drop it in the group. And then I also drop the link to Solidity by examples so that we can also code them ourselves. So thank you guys for joining. Let's do this again next week, Friday. But please come with questions. Please, you guys should challenge us. You guys should make us feel as if we're doing something here. The house is quiet, like only either me or Aji will be speaking and everybody else will be quiet. Please, it's an interactive class. Let's understand. Bring your queries, right? We are building. This is a builder group. So please come with your queries. If you have developer friends, please invite them. Okay? So, thank you very much. Let's do this next week, Friday.
Just nice
Thank you
having
very much,
everybody
guys.
here.
Yeah. Oh, Aji.
Just appreciating everyone for coming.
All right. Cheers.